both of our jobs easier. So I'm excited for the opportunity. I think we can wreak havoc on this league. Will it happen overnight? Probably not. But the potential is scary. So like I said, I'm excited for this opportunity.
That was Demarcus Cousins saying that he and Anthony Davis will wreak havoc on the NBA, and that havoc begins tonight against the Rockets. Both Cousins and Davis are averaging 27 points, over 10 rebounds, and over 10 rebounds per game this season. So we're wondering, Max Kellerman,
yes,
who should be the Batman on the court for the Pelicans?
Ready for this, Molly? Ready for this for Stephen A? You ready for this?
No.
On the court, Batman should be Boogie Cousins.
Really?
Oh, Lord.
Anthony Davis is a better player than Boogie Cousins. I'm not talking
about... Don't qualify it. Don't qualify it. Say what you got to say.
I am not
say what
talking
you gotta say.
about the locker room. I'm just talking about on the court, on the floor. You want to work inside out?
Hold on, Max, let me get relaxed for this. Hold on, let me kick my feet up here. You go ahead. Let me kick my feet up here for this one. Let me get my blueberry muffin. Go ahead, Max. Take your time, Max. I can't believe this. I want to hear this.
Who's the more effective
Take as much time as you need. Take as much time as you need. Go ahead.
Who's the more effective inside player, Stephen A? Boogie or Anthony Davis? Inside, who's more effective?
Don't ask me no questions. Just go ahead and speak.
You know the answer. You might want to move into the frame. There you go. You know the answer is Boogie Cousins. He's the more effective inside player. Now, here's the other strange thing. Anthony Davis, famously, he was celebrated for being a point guard who grew a foot suddenly, and now all of a sudden he's a 4 or 5. He's a big. So he should have point guard skills in passing, and he can pass the ball. But who's the better passer? Actually, Boogie Cousins, who's a brilliant and underrated passer for a big. So you have a guy who's more effective on the inside and the better passer. Let Anthony Davis face up and play off the attention that Boogie is going to get down low. What does that mean? Anthony Davis will be the better player. Anthony Davis may even score more. But the offense, and I'm not even talking about the defense. On the defensive end, let Boogie crash the boards, Anthony Davis protect the rim and all those things. On the offensive side, the attention has to go to Boogie down low. That's how this offense will work best. The locker room, everything else is a different story. But let Anthony Davis face up and play off the attention. Boogie Cousins, Batman, is going to get down low.
You finished?
I am, for now.
Max Kellerman, so let me get this straight. You just finished sitting here and saying that Boogie Cousins may not very well be the best player. Did you say that?
Yep.
Did you say that?
Mm-hmm.
You said he may not be the best player. You also said he may not be the best leader. Right? Did
That's
you say that?
Sure.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
He's not going to be the
Maybe
best leader.
leader.
He's not going to be the best. He's not going to be the best leader. He's not going to be the best player. But he needs to be Batman. What is wrong with you, Max? Only you. I give it to you. Only you can say this stuff. It's unbelievable that you would come to this conclusion. It's hilarious. Boogie Cousins, who is a stud. He's the best big man in basketball.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong. But Anthony Davis is on another level, bro. When you talk about
Is
Boogie
he a big
Cousins,
too? You just said Boogie's the best big man, but Anthony Davis is on another level. Is Anthony Davis big?
No. I don't consider Anthony Davis just a big man.
Why not?
I consider him all world. I consider him all world.
Boogie's down low.
I let you talk. Did I interrupt you?
Yes,
I'm not going to let you go.
Here's
the deal, Max. I'm saying to you, Boogie Cousins is the best big man, meaning a center. I'm telling you, Anthony Davis in 2 years, maybe less, will be the best player in the world. This dude, 6'10", 6'11", back to the basket, facing the basket, three-point mid-range, drives to the lane, does everything. Defensive end of the floor, he's a shot blocker as well. By the way, when he went in the playoffs, some place Boogie Cousins has never been, by the way, never been. When Anthony Davis was last seen in the playoffs, the season before last, you know that year that Golden State actually won the championship? What did Anthony Davis average? 31.5 and 11 rebounds, okay, on 54% shooting when there was no one else on the floor with him against Golden State. This is Anthony Davis.
He played him past the Spurs to get him in the playoffs, and the Spurs were fighting for home court. So, Anthony Davis is the man, of course.
I'm just saying to you, he's all world, but you want him to be Robin.
Well,
really?
It's not exactly Robin.
What?
He's Robin
Excuse me, it's one or the other. Hold it. There can't be two Batmans.
Well, no,
it's Batman
that's right.
and Robin. That's what it is.
Batman's got to be Boogie.
You've watched enough Marvel comics and all of that stuff. Don't act like you don't know. There can only be one Batman, and there can only be one Robin. Right. You don't get to sit there and say Batman and saw him in half.
Who says Batman has to team up with Robin? Maybe he's teamed up with Aquaman. How do you know? The point is that the offense on the
Aquaman is water in all. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it is. It's underwater. Come on. On the offensive side of the ball, The offense has got to run strategically through Boogie down low. Boogie can shoot from the outside, too. But from Boogie down low, he's the more effective inside player. He's the better passer. Let Anthony Davis feed
He also
off of
leads
that.
the league in technical fouls.
Sure.
That's your leader?
No.
Really?
No, that's who you're running the offense through.
That's
He's
Batman.
in
That's
that
Batman
sense.
for you.
Yeah.
Batman who might get ejected the very next day. The second he gets a technical foul, he's ejected. That's your Batman?
Batman plays, he's a vigilante. He plays by his own rules.
Oh,
Smith.
gosh.
And let's not bring up Aquaman in New Orleans. We know we have to be incredibly sensitive to
Yeah,
that.
right, of course, right.
Absolutely.
I meant
but the
sea
point
level.
is,
It's below sea level.
I know what you meant, but I'm just saying,
course.
you know how
Yeah.
people can run away with stuff, so we
Sure.
can make sure that. Bottom line is this: Boogie Cousins is no joke. But even being no joke, even being the best big man in basketball, he is no Anthony Davis. I can promise you that. That is nonsense. Nonsense.
Anthony Davis is the better player, but listen, on the Dream Team, the original Dream Team, did they run the offense through Michael Jordan, the greatest player who ever lived? Actually, Charles Barkley used to lead that team in scoring. Charles Barkley was kind of
They
Batman
were
on that
playing
team.
against Angola. Will you stop it?
By the way, the hopes of New Orleans is that these two guys can turn the rest of the league into some lesser version of basketball teams. These twin towers can be used as any effective twin tower pair is used, not with both down low. There's not enough room. Someone's got to play outside facing up. That's going to be Anthony Davis, and the attention should go down low through Boogie, making him the Batman of the offense.
Okay.
Let's leave it there. Who should be the Batman for the Boston Celtics? Jimmy Buckets or Carmelo? I might be spreading rumors right now. Which superstar would look best in Boston's green and white? Find out that next, and also find out why Jay Cutler's next stop might not be on any team in the NFL. Cue Stephen A., please.
Fishing is hard.
Flying act, who, in addition to that, has developed this great overall game, and yet the Clippers have shown they can win without Blake. Blake is injury prone. Blake is a free agent. Maybe he doesn't re-sign. You ain't going to beat the Warriors. I mean, like, Doc Rivers thinks that this is his best group of guys and everything. They're going to beat the Warriors. Doc, stop. You know you're not going to beat the Warriors. Just be honest with yourself. You got to move this guy now while you can get something for him. And by the way, when you look at the Celtics and the Jimmy Butler deal, if Crowder is the holdup, whatever, the Celtics have other assets, including the Nets draft pick. It might be the #1 overall pick in the draft. It's unprotected. And Avery Bradley and others. So and by the way, love Jimmy Butler. Maybe he's a better fit on the Celtics. But Blake Griffin's better than Jimmy Butler. I mean, Blake Griffin, if he's available, is the best available player right now in the A. For nothing, a guy who doesn't necessarily fit with what you're doing with CP3, and you're showing you can win without him. An injury-prone guy. You can get a haul for him right now, and you ain't going to win you ain't getting out of the Western Conference. Why wouldn't you do that?
You know what? You and I agree with this because, I look at Blake Griffin. Listen, this is a guy that a couple of years ago when they lost and they blew that 3-2 lead against the Houston Rockets in the Western Conference semifinals. This is a guy that averaged, 25 and 12 in the postseason. Last year, he was injured. Let's look at him, and he played in 4 playoff games. He averaged 25 and 12 the year before. Last year, he only averaged 15. He was clearly not healthy. We get all of that. I just think the ship has sailed on Blake Griffin in L.A. And what I mean by that is in terms of him being a part of a championship formula. I'm not saying that he's not a great talent. Blake Griffin is a great talent. Blake Griffin could be box office for somebody. Blake Griffin has all the requisite skills. He belongs on this level. But there are levels to this, as we both always say. And I think when you talk about the elite of the elite, the creme de la creme, I think Blake Griffin, even though he works, even though CP3 is there, and you would think that the quintessential point guard that is CP3 would work for anybody. I think since CP3 has been in L.A., even though Blake has his numbers, the same fervor, the Skywalker's mentality, the aggression, and all the things that come with it, something is missing there. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. People have speculated that the relationship is not the greatest. I don't get that. CP has always told me they've had a good relationship. My only point is that there's something missing from Blake Griffin. And when I think about the Golden State Warriors, or even to a lesser degree the Houston Rockets, I don't worry too much about the Clippers because of Blake Griffin. I worry about CP3. I worry about DeAndre Jordan, who will dunk it on anybody, who rebounds and blocks shots. But I don't find myself too concerned about Blake Griffin. You need a third component with the Los Angeles Clippers that the opposition literally has to fear on both ends of the floor. If I could, and I know they probably can't, Max, if I could, would I trade Blake Griffin for Paul George? Yes, I would.
Sure.
In a Clippers uniform.
Absolutely.
I would do that deal.
Yeah,
I would do that
or
deal.
by the way, and this sounds crazy because you think you can get more for him, but if Carmelo Anthony's available, and the only way is to trade a guy
Well, you know how I feel about that.
Right,
Yeah.
then Carmelo's with Chris Paul. In LA, that becomes a lure for LeBron James in addition to everything else. The crazy thing is, I know what I imagine what Doc must be thinking, which is you look at the Warriors without Bogut, and you think they're vulnerable to a team that can get in the paint, down low, post up. And Blake has a post game. He just refuses to go down there. Either Doc's not calling the plays or he doesn't want to go down there.
He don't want to go down there. He don't want to go down there enough.
And that's crazy because Blake was once just this high-flying, amazing physical talent. Remember, President Obama at the time told Chris Paul, tell Blake he needs to get a 15-footer. Blake went out and got one. Blake showed an amazing overall game, passing, shooting, the whole thing. And then the question was, is he saving himself? Does he not have the explosive kind of hops that he used to have? When playoff time came around, he showed that he does have those hops. He just added this overall dimension to it. And you would think he should be a top 3 or 4 player in the league right now. But that unwillingness to get down low, and maybe the dynamics on the team are stopping that. He's about to be a free agent.
Well,
if the Clippers don't get something for him and he leaves for nothing, that's a monumental failure on Doc's part as a GM.
My issue with Blake Griffin is in part with Doc Rivers, because I think Doc Rivers allows him to dribble the ball too much. How many times, Max, have we seen Blake Griffin get the ball 15, 19 feet away from the basket, and he's dribbling it between his legs and, spinning and doing all of this other stuff? You're 6'10", and you're a Skywalker. You're a man amongst boys on most nights. Utilize that to your advantage and to command a level of respect and, dare I say, intimidation that forces teams to pay attention to you in a different fashion. We don't revere Chris Paul just because of his abilities on a basketball court. It's because he's a pit bull. And he comes at it, and you know that he's coming at you at every turn, and he will abuse you, he will embarrass you, he will annihilate you if you are not ready to go. That is the kind of mentality that we would like to see from Blake Griffin. We have not seen that for a very long time.
Just strategically, remember with the Thunder, when Harden
made both of our jobs easier. So I'm excited for the opportunity. I think we can wreak havoc on this league. Will it happen overnight? Probably not, but the potential is scary. So like I said, I'm excited for this opportunity.
That was Demarcus Cousins saying that he and Anthony Davis will wreak havoc on the NBA, and that havoc begins tonight against the Rockets. Both Cousins and Davis are averaging 27 points, over 10 rebounds per game this season. So we're wondering, Max Kellerman,
yes,
who should be the Batman on the court for the Pelicans?
Ready for this, Molly? Ready for this for Stephen A? You ready for this?
No.
On the court, Batman should be Boogie Cousins.
Really?
Oh, Lord.
Anthony Davis is a better player than Boogie Cousins. I'm not talking
about... Don't qualify it. Don't qualify it. Say what you got to say.
I am not
say what you got to say
about the locker room. I'm just talking about on the court, on the floor. You want to work inside out?
Hold on, Max, let me get relaxed for this. Hold on, let me kick my feet up here. You go ahead. Let me kick my feet up here for this one. Let me get my blueberry muffin. Go ahead, Max. Take your time, Max. I can't believe this. I want to hear this.
Who's the more
take
effective
as much time as you need. Take as much time as you need.